SEC flexing their collective muscles, not just doing the John Wall, but indeed flexing their collective muscles. Duke officially loses a coach, and that bubble is this much closer to popping. All that and more right now, recording live from somewhere. This is One and Done.
Get out the insurance cards, get out the copays. The office is open, my friends. Brought to you by drroto.com.
It's time once again for everybody to come aboard that One and Done train. Welcome to One and Done. Bienvenidos a todos a One and Done, your fast break of college basketball información. We are powered by the Galaxy's greatest website, as you saw in that fine intro right there on your viewing device. It's drroto.com. I am your sometimes humble host. My name is Jay Heinrich. I happen to be the conductor of the aforementioned One and Done train. Find me on X at Dr. William Cannon right there. I'm known to follow back people, definitely. So push that button if you want to boost those followers and get all the tweets that I retweet from that One and Done account and everything else we got going on over there. As you can see, it's just me. I'm solo dolo, solo Sokoa, whatever you want to call it. I'm here by myself tonight. We're talking about a shorter show on a Thursday. Going to bring you something every week leading up to the tournament. Going to get yours truly here tonight. May switch it up from time to time, but I know I'm going to be here on a Thursday. So make sure you push those like and subscribe buttons, because if you don't hit the subscribe button, you can't chat with me. Got to do it. Got to be able to subscribers only mode, as they call it. Just like our friend Michael Peterson did. He's hit that button plenty of times. Good evening. Good to see you in there as always. And then Darren, what's up, man? What's up with the new cover screen, new design? Is that the old intro thing, or the thumbnail maybe? The new design. Yeah, hey, I got Eric the Blue. Likes to shake it up a little bit, man. We're trying a new type of show here. Little shorter run, little quick hitter, little in and out, little opinion stuff here on a Thursday. So why not, some new logos in there? Isaac jumping in too. What is that? Check right there. I'm too blind to see what that is right there. But either way, thank you, Isaac, for hopping in there and jumping in the live check. Oh yeah, that's the train. Now I can see it. That's right. What up, Isaac? Good to see you. And thanks for pushing that button, of course, and making sure you can converse with me in the live chat, the liveliest of all live chats in college basketball, right here on One and Done. Our guy at Fantasy Nav, Eric the Blue, pushing buttons tonight behind the scenes, filling in for what was going to be Nape, CC Hustle, our guy who's out with whatever sort of sickness he has. So shout out to Nape. Shout out to our guy MC Holland 34, of course, the captain of the One and Done ship. Old habits die hard there. But tonight it's just me, and we're talking some news around the world of college basketball. Hit those buttons. It's just me. Hit those buttons tonight. We would love to hear from you. So make sure you push those like and subscribe buttons. Now, listen, we're about a week and a half away, before we dive into this, about a week and a half away from Selection Sunday, right? If you're planning on filling out a bracket like the rest of us, and we'll have a One and Done, regular old bracket challenge, I'm sure. But it's time to level up. It's time to level up this March, and we're going to level up with our friends at BracketBids and BracketBids.com. Invite those same people that you were going to do this with anyway, right? Over to BracketBids. So tell them to get to BracketBids.com and create an account. Tell them to use the promo code BREAD, because anytime there's a league activation fee that's applied to this, 40% off with the promo code BREAD. And listen, this isn't just your regular fill out a bracket. No. The bids part of BracketBids is an auction draft. That's right, bringing that fantasy sports twist to the March tournament. Why would you, bid higher on those lowly 15 seeds, right? Well, maybe because that upset bonus that you get can be the ticket to winning your league. So set up your league for free to get your own league link and send out those invitations. And then use that promo code BREAD for 40% off of your league activation fees. Download the BracketBids app today, or go to BracketBids.com and level up this March. Thanks to our friends at BracketBids. I think we're going to might have some special guests here coming up real soon. Well, no, I don't want to spoil it just yet. but we may be linking up with our friends from BracketBids here on One and Done here very soon. So keep an eye out for that. Darren asking, do we have another MC Holland Invitational this weekend? You know we're going to throw something together, man. The DFS will be there for sure. Make sure you push those buttons, like, subscribe, notification bells, like our friends did, so they know when we go live, especially if you're playing those DraftKings DFS streets. But without further ado, let's get to this week in college hoops here, starting on this Thursday. First time we're doing it on this Thursday show, and we love that the live chat is already on fire. So listen, whole lot of talk about the SEC, right? And we talk about them a lot on our DFS shows. We talk about them a lot on our social media, which is at One and Done CBB, anywhere that there's socials, by the way, at One and Done CBB, right there on the bottom of the screen, right on cue. Best in the biz is Eric, I tell you. We talk a lot about the SEC, right? And it's almost like there seems to be fatigue, which is understandable, right? I usually get Big Ten fatigue. Okay, I get it. I'm guilty of that. Guilty. But even our guy Ken Pomeroy himself tweeted out about the SEC possibly being overrated, and in my mind I'm thinking, yeah, but buddy, everybody's in your top 81. Quad one opportunities basically every single night. And it got me thinking, like, what is the definition of overrated here? Are we talking about when I think about the SEC, there's 4 teams in this conference right now that, if you fell asleep right now and woke up in mid-April and someone told you any one of these top 4 teams won the national championship, you'd be like, yeah, I could totally see that. Auburn, Tennessee, Florida, Alabama, right? That's not a surprise to anybody, but that those are my top 4 teams because they're the top 4 teams in the conference. But how many other teams have that sort of depth at the top? Is that an oxymoron? Who knows? But you understand where I'm coming from. 4 of those teams in the top 6 of Ken Palm's ratings here. Let's start with Auburn, okay? Darren chiming in about Broom, losing player of the year. Hey, listen, I don't know that it was his to win to begin with, right? I understand the sentiment, right? But I don't know that it was his to lose anyway. But that's not the point, right? He's been in that 2-horse race with Cooper Flagg for National Player of the Year honors. But here's the deal with Auburn. They can run out and get 90 or even 100. They've gotten 100 3 times this season. They can crawl through the sludge and win it with 70 points. It doesn't matter. They can win however they need to win. Broom has been the best big man in the country, no doubt. A walking double-double. Somebody like Darren would like to play because Darren, our guy Darren, likes those double-double bonuses in the DFS streets. Well, that's exactly what Broom is, for sure. Yeah, he's not going to win the Wooden Award or anything like that, but he'll be ready for Alabama on Saturday. And even with the regular season SEC title already in hand, listen, he had 19, 14, 6 assists, 2 blocks, and a steal against them a few weeks ago. He's going to be ready for this matchup. I promise you. Besides him, though, it's not just a one-man show over there, right? Chad Baker-Mazara, Tahad Pettiford doing their thing in the backcourt, having great years. It's not. It takes more than one guy, right, in college basketball these days. Miles Kelly just went for 30 against Kentucky. Like, this is a deep team. It's a talented team for sure. Plenty of guards to complement Broom. You know how much I love guards in March. Now let's talk about Tennessee, right? Started 14-0, ranked number 1 for a while. Hit a few speed bumps. Boom, boom. That's okay. It's okay. Darren doesn't want to give me the Vols, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. But listen, I get it. We've been disrespecting Tennessee for most of the year, so much so that I remember in like mid-January, we were writing them off, and it was almost like, wait, they were just the number 1 team in the country, it feels like, Last year, they sped that tempo up a little bit, but they went back to it. They're slower than molasses again, They're going to dictate how you play. It's what Rick Barnes does, right? First to 60, right? That's the joke, at least in the One and Done group chat. First to 60 with Tennessee, right, on any given night. But it's funny because it's true. Like, held Florida to 44 points, held Auburn to 53, albeit in a loss. But the Auburn we just talked about, 53? If you don't force the issue against Tennessee, and even if you do, to be honest, it doesn't really matter. They can make you play their game and make your life miserable. They can. Period. I haven't even talked about Zakai Ziegler yet. The reigning SEC Defensive Player of the Year. And he's also one of the 5 finalists up for the Bob Cousy Award for Point Guard of the Year. Like, if Ziegler gets on one and they're keeping everybody to 65 points in the tournament, like, who's going to beat them? That's a team nobody wants to run into, right? There's a bunch of these teams, right, that we're going to talk about. The final 2 of those top tier, right? Florida and Alabama. Absolute battle on Wednesday night in Tuscaloosa. Senior night. Oh, what a shame. What a shame. The Gators. Yeah, man. Condon 27-10. Walter Clayton had 22, 5 and 8. The thing that stood out for me was Chinyelu, 9 and 11. If you're getting that kind of game out of Condon and Chinyelu is flirting with the double-double, this is a tough team to beat. This is a tough team to beat. 99 points on the road against Alabama. And get up and down a little bit, right? They won 11 out of their last 13, have the Gators. But it's not just like, oh, they won by 5. That might not seem like a lot because they're used to winning by 16 points a game. As a matter of fact, going into this game, they were beating people by 16.5 points. That was the average. That was the point differential per game, 16.5. They only won by 5. It went all the way down to 16.1. Sorry, 16.2. Guess what? Still good enough for 4th in the country. This seems legit. This team is legit. All right, how about the Alabama side, right? They're scoring 91. They were going into this game, they were averaging 91 points a game. Well, guess what? They scored 95 and lost. Leads the country in scoring per game, 91.1 points per game. Which, when you think about it, it doesn't take too far to scratch below the surface to understand why. They play faster than everybody else. They're the fastest team in the country, and they're the 3rd most efficient team on offense in the country. You're going to score some points, right? 94 against Florida's 10th rated defense in the country, according to Ken Palm's metrics, right? All those praises that you can sing about Alabama on a night in and night out basis, on the grind that is the SEC. But that's not even the whole thing that it comes down to. It's not just that they score a bunch of points, that they're the up-tempo. No. They lead the entire country in rebounds per game as a team. They're getting to the glass. They're getting out on the break. They're making you tired. They're making you run up and down the court. And they're just going to put the ball in the bucket. Mark Sears leading the way. This is my question mark here. Which Grant Nelson is Alabama going to get? We know what Grant Nelson's capable of. If Grant Nelson goes on a 2-week run here, that puts Alabama in the Final Four. Easily. I say easily because they're just that good otherwise. If you get the best out of Grant Nelson, over with. We'll see, though. Who knows? They haven't always gotten it. The former North Dakota baller. Used to love playing that guy in DFS. What happened? Not so much anymore, right? Not so much anymore. How about it? What about the SEC, huh? What do you guys think about this? Darren saying Auburn bonded during that Royal Rumble on the airplane on the way back in November. Hey, whatever works, right? Whatever Pearl's doing is working. Whatever spices he's putting in the stew, why would you mess with that? I wouldn't. My high school basketball coach, glory days in the young was ours, glory days. Yeah, I know. Well, listen, he was talking about spitting in the stew. That's what he used to talk about. If you're not spitting in the stew, everything's cool, right? We don't want to spit in the stew that we've got cooking here. You don't want to spit in the stew that he's created down there, and he won't, How about, listen, Nate Oates. I can't question this guy, right? I'm not questioning him. Listen, final 7 games for Alabama before we get off of here, all right? Final 7 games on the schedule for Alabama. I believe all Ian's top 25 teams, every single one of them. I'm willing to give Alabama a pass for some late season hiccups, and you should be too, especially against a team as talented as Florida here. Good stuff there. SEC talk. Always love some SEC talk here at the start of a show. I got Ryan hopping in here. Chaz Lanier can go win you a game. Exactly, man. And that defense just has to show up. You would not argue with me if you fell in a coma until late April, and any one of those teams. The first thing you did was you got on to Twitter and you said, at Dr. William Cannon, you said, Jay, who won the national championship? And I told you any one of those teams. And none of you guys would be, oh, yeah, okay. They're deep. Okay? I'm not even going to spend time going into the rest of this conference. Should I? I mean, listen, where else do you go? Okay, I didn't even talk about Kentucky. Missouri. Nobody wants to play these teams in the tournament. I'm not here to talk about any more about the depth of the SEC and if they're overrated. They're not overrated. It's the best conference in the country. They're going to get the most bids in the tournament, period. How did I just talk for 15 minutes about the SEC and I didn't bring up Kentucky one time? That's how deep they are. It's a great conference for sure. Hey, Ryan, thanks for hopping in the live chat. We're going to talk to you soon. I know. You've seen our friend Ryan here. Very soon. Make sure you all hit those like and subscribe buttons. That's how you hop in the chat there, just like everybody is. Yeah, they could get it. That is a very entertaining team to watch for sure. Hey, let's move on now. A little bit of news here. Duke, obviously, I talked about it in the cold open. Duke losing their coach there to Miami. Jay Lucas heading over to manage the Hurricanes. Listen, before we move over to Duke is Duke, right? They're going to be fine. Cooper Flagg, we talked about it earlier, player of the year. You know, him and Broom were that two-man coin, right? It's not so much. It's weighted much more towards Cooper Flagg in this moment, and that's okay. Duke's super talented. I don't really need to go into why Duke is talented. We know why Duke is good. Coach Lucas is leaving at the end of the regular season, right? And it's like, well, you're about to go play this is the most important time of the year. Like, how are you just remember, we live in the age of the transfer portal. Ladies and gents, broskies and broskets, when is the transfer portal open? He's got to leave at the end of the regular season so we can put his team together. Can't be behind the 8 ball like that. And I know Coach Shire is happy for Jay Lucas. I know that he is. I truly feel like he's happy for Coach Lucas, who will, by the way, become the youngest head coach in Power Conference basketball. Comes highly regarded, I know. But again, is that the sort of thing that a program like a Miami, you're bringing in somebody without that power experience as a head coach? How's this going to work out? Obviously, it brings that defensive pedigree, the recruiting pedigree, and that's where I feel like, obviously, you know, drawing up defenses and making sure that's running smoothly for Duke. Duke might have also lost their best recruiter here, right? So I can't imagine that he doesn't, that Coach Lucas does not go into Miami fully understanding that they are backing him with whatever money he needed to take this job, right? I mean, you're right. They do have the NIL stuff going on over there. And can he pull them out of this? I don't know. But Duke can pretend like this is business as usual as much as you want. It's not. You're changing the chemistry and the makeup of a locker room. You're changing the makeup and chemistry of a coaching staff. I don't like it. Like, I get it. I understand why you make the move when you do. But, like, yeah, and you could, I'm happy for Jay Lucas, for Coach Lucas, he's going and doing this thing. And, if you're Coach Shire, but it's like, yeah, man, but it's just the reality of it, right? He's accepted it. I'm trying to be better about accepting it. Just the reality of college basketball, and it's different now. We're going to see these coaches leave right before didn't even play in the conference tournament. Can't even stick around. Got to go make that roster. So I'm happy for Jay Lucas. He's a great coach. Can he dig his way out of the hole that is Coral Gables? I don't know. It is Miami, though. There's worse places to have a hard time with your gimmick than Miami, Good luck to Coach Lucas for sure. Push those like and subscribe buttons. Subscriber only mode on the chat, so make sure if you're hopping in with us live, you've pushed that subscribe button so you can hop in the chat with Darren. Who else has been hopping in there? Ryan, of course. Isaac hopped in early. Michael. Man, I love it. We just hop in on a random Thursday and go live, and you guys get in the live chat. It's fantastic. Got to. What else are we doing? What are you watching? Baseball? No. It's college basketball time. And if you're not familiar with One and Done, if this is the first time you're hanging out with us, appreciate you. Show us some love and push all those buttons. We do DFS content. We do daily or weekly wrap-ups, some longer form stuff on Sundays. We do DFS shows. We do live before locks for DFS. So push all those buttons so you don't miss anything, okay? Moving on. Now, hey, it's just me in here. Keep chatting. Let's go. I'd love to hear from you. Keep it up. Moving on now to some key results. I'm going to run through these real quick. Man, let me get this drink real fast, guys and gals. Excuse me. Definitely need to clear my throat before talking about the Longhorns, which is about to happen, unfortunately, even though it was a positive one for the Burn Orange here. A few scores from Tuesday that we felt like needed to be brought up. Texas getting that overtime win against Mississippi State. I'm trying to sort of this is a stay of execution for Rodney Terry, to be honest. Like, it's what it feels like. They never even trailed in the second half and somehow still needed overtime. Yeah, you know what's in that cup, Eric. Actually, I'm not even going to – I can't even – look, I can't help it. It's not vodka, I promise. Listen, there's a sense of urgency in Texas, and I get it. Somehow Mississippi State's been worse at home this year than on the road, whatever that's about. Starkville, I don't know, whatever. But top 25 road win for the Longhorns. Still have some work to do at the tournament, or to make the tournament. That game against Oklahoma on Saturday might get one of those teams in. We'll talk about that in a minute. The UT Kool-Aid. Listen, I am not – anybody that's been watching this show understands that I've been just as critical or more so of Rodney Terry, and it's deserved. I don't even think if he makes the tournament, man, it's tough, but we'll see. No, Darren, I think that's not what I'm saying, kind sir. Appreciate that, though. Baylor beating TCU in an ugly one, 61-58. Like, Baylor needed that. Like, that's just one of those, they needed it. And then Villanova and Georgetown. Georgetown getting a 75-73 win there as well. So, yeah, I mean, a couple of results that we wanted to make sure we talked about on Tuesday. Have some interest there for sure. They do just enough to get a segment on One and Done. Nothing more. Exactly, Ryan. You get what you're picking up what I'm putting down. If you want to hop in there like Ryan and Darren and Eric, of course. Eric the Blue. God dang it, Darren. You keep doing that. You keep bringing up the NIT title, and it's funny because, of course, it's true. Can't even argue about it with it. I was there the first round in 2019. We talked about that the other first round in NIT against I can't remember if it was North Dakota State or I don't remember. They hung a banner for that in Austin, by the way, which is just – anyways. All right, let's get out of there before I derail this whole thing. We know we want to finish up with some March Madness talk. We love us some Lenardi, of course. So let's get to a little – bit of that madness of March here, a little bracketology, if you will. Let's talk about some multi-bid conferences here. Now, the SEC, of course, will get the most. That's 12. The Big Ten looking like 10 teams right now. The Big 12 getting El Ocho with 8, if you are not, bilingual with the Espanol there. Big East, 5. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Keep that right there in the noggin. 5 for Big East. 4 for Mountain West, 3 in ACC, and 2 for WCC. Those are obvious, and we'll talk about that too. So, the Big East, right, feels more like a down year overall, than last year. But getting 5 at the moment feels a little bit off, a little fuzzy. I remember complaining last year about the Big East only getting 3 bids, and now I'm sitting here complaining that they have too many at 5. But I do feel like I don't know, man. It just feels a little bit off to me. Something that we could see adjust here as these, a team like a Texas gets a win and they're in. Who knows? We'll talk about that stuff in a minute. But how about some bid stealers? Like, looking at those teams, like biggest bid stealer potential probably in the AAC. Memphis is in there, right? Penny's doing – you can throw whatever sanctions you want. They're going to go to the tournament. He does what he does, right? What about UNT, Darren? Think they can make a run in that tournament? Get a bid? A little go mean green action. I know Darren likes that one. UAB is also somebody to consider in the AAC for that. But yeah, I don't know, man. That's probably the most likely one of a bid stealer if Memphis just doesn't find a way to win that tournament. How about the WCC as well? St. Mary's, Gonzaga out there. But if Santa Clara or San Francisco could find a way to win that postseason tournament, you got to beat both. You got to slay both giants to do so, right? You're probably going to have to beat the Zags. Probably going to have to beat St. Mary's. I don't know, man. That's a tough one. Yeah, friend of the show, Coach Herb Sendek. We've talked to Coach Sendek before. Getting the one and done bump always helps right there. Ryan hopping in there. UC Irvine. Oh, Darren just calling his shot right now. Sorry, I didn't mean to go back and forth like there. Darren calling his shot being UNT winning the AAC. And Ryan saying that UC Irvine could possibly get that 2-bid Big West, one that I definitely had not thought of for sure. Yeah, another friend of the show out there, Russell Turner. Wow. How about it? Everybody, if you get interviewed by One and Done, which you should go back after this show and check out our coaching interviews that we've done in the past. You'll see Mark Pope on there back when he was a member of the BYU universe over there. And then what do you know? The next year he gets the Kentucky job. It's quite the one and done bust. 40, I'm being whispered in my ear. 40 coaches interviews, all the biggest winners in the game, of course. Why not? Why wouldn't you want to check out some of those interviews that we've done? Coincidence? I think not. Yeah, Memphis locked in there. AAC. Hey, real quick, let's get to a couple of these things before we get out of here. Last four in: San Diego State, Indiana, Boise State, Xavier. Now, I don't know, man. Like Xavier's 1-9 in quad one wins. That's something that I don't know if it's a head scratcher. But they're not ahead of North Carolina in net rating. North Carolina, UNC's 38th in net rating. Xavier is 47. So that's honestly, you're looking at right there. Like Xavier is like the last team in right now. So, honestly, like, is it really that big of a deal? Because they would get knocked down anyway. Probably not. But again, it's interesting to sort of see what the criteria looks like, or what the committee's looking for. And you look at Xavier's record against quad one opponents, and it's not stellar at all. What else do we have here? Oh, okay. So that Texas and Oklahoma game, right? Texas 41 in net, Oklahoma 50th. This game on Saturday, final game of the regular season, that's a quad one win right there, which of course, basically every night in the SEC basically feels like that. So it's probably enough to get them into the last four in line. Plus, again, at the SEC tournament, if you find a way to win a game in there, every game is going to help boost your stock. One of those squads are going to make their case this weekend for sure. Listen, Michigan State on the 2 line just won their first Big Ten championship, regular season championship since 2017, 2018, since that season. That's not good enough to get a 1 this year. It's just not. Sorry, Izzo. Like, it's not like it matters to him. But again, like, it's like, oh, okay, Michigan State won the Big Ten. That's probably going to be a 1 seed. It's not. Because 3 of the teams we talked about earlier, Alabama, Florida, and Duke, Florida's locked in now. Duke's locked in. Auburn's probably locked in. Houston is most likely locked in. Houston, we haven't even talked about Houston. Who wants to play Houston's defense? Who wants to play Kelvin Sampson's team? Nobody. Not a soul. Texas Tech on the 2 line with Alabama and Tennessee. That makes sense. I can feel that. I'm good with that. St. John's, Wisconsin, Iowa State on the 3 with A&M, which is they've found a way to just stay in the top 12, top 15 all season, just up and down, but found a way to do it. And then Arizona, Kentucky, Maryland, and Purdue on the 4 line. What a good job they've done out in Purdue this year. Right now, you might not have had me on Matt Painter's squad earlier in the year, but finding a way to possibly be a 4 seed. Anybody in the live chat, let me know if you think like last 4 out, Oklahoma, North Carolina, Texas, Nebraska, one of those teams might get in. No, North Carolina could get in here. We could see Nebraska could get in too. we'll see. Colorado State, Cincinnati, Wake Forest, and SMU the next 4 out. I don't think any of those teams are going to have a sniff at it, especially with some of the conference tournaments going on here. But yeah, man, the bubble's great. Lenardi's great, and that's where all this stuff, just follow. That's the bracketology there. And we're going to break it all down here hey, listen, Darren, they are boring. Houston is so boring. I agree with you 100%. But again, they're just going to beat you. The only thing that you have going for them is you don't actually have to go play on their home court. Because they'll serve you 58 points total that you can have, and you will like it. At least you get them on a neutral floor, right? Boring can win you a national championship. It sure can. And it might. Who knows? Hey, guys and gals, half an hour there. Good stuff. I'm happy you guys were able to join me on a Thursday night here on One and Done. Make sure you push all those like and subscribe buttons, notification bells. Follow us on social media at One and Done CBB, WONANDDONE CBB, all spelled out right there. You see it across the screen there. Blue Sky, IG, TikTok, Twitter, whatever. Follow them all. Why not? But the most important ones to push are like and subscribe right here on YouTube. Got some SEC talk, a lot of SEC talking tonight, but hey, they're the premier conference. And then it's Duke, right? We're talking about Duke. Jay Lucas leaving is a big deal. You can pretend like it isn't, but it is. But good luck to Coach Lucas there. And then bracketology, of course, that bubble, ladies and gents, is so close to popping. But we're going to be breaking it down, leading up to it right here on One and Done. Follow me at Dr. William Cannon on Twitter. At Fantasy Nav is Eric the Blue, who's pushing those. No, this is me. That's not Eric's. Eric the Blue pushing those buttons at Fantasy Nav in those Twitter streets. At MC Holland 34 is the captain of the One and Done ship. Second time I did that tonight with the green screens. I'm used to getting green screens with Mike shows for sure, of the covering all the DFS stuff that he does. MC Holland 34 on Twitter. At the Real Napier, who's recovering from whatever crud he's got. Follow us all. Go Mean Green, according to Darren right there in the chat. GMG, as he likes to say. Thanks to Darren. Thanks to our friend Ryan. Eric the Blue hopped in there tonight as well, of course. Isaac and Michael hopping in as well. We appreciate everybody for hanging out with us. Don't go too far. One and Done is never too far away from you. Tell somebody you love them. Take care of yourself, most importantly. My name is JayHeinrich. Come again. We'll see you.
Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drroto.com. And until the next visit, be well and take care.